and a heartfelt namaste. Today, we are going to talk about one of the aspects of Panchang, the yoga. In a lot of videos of the past, people have appreciated the Panchang yogas, and somebody has also put forward a request for Preeti Yoga. So today's episode is dedicated to the person who has asked us to make a video on Preeti Yoga. Now, the Panchang yogas talk about a lot of things. We have also in the past told you that there are 5 elements of the Panchang, because Panch means 5 and Ang means limbs. So the 5 limbs of the Panchang are Vara, Tithi, Karn, Yog, and Nakshatra. We have talked in detail about Nakshatra. In fact, many people do. So the yogas are all about the ultimate happiness that you feel within yourself. Many a times we feel unhappy even though when we have a lot of riches, we have lots of comforts. Well, you have to look into the yoga that you have in your chart. And how are you going to find out this yoga is also one question that has been put forward to us. So you can find this yoga if you go to Jehora, the basic section. The Tithi, the Var, the Yog, the Karn that you have been born in is very much available. For those using mobiles and apps there, please see that does your mobile app show the Panchang of the day that you were born in. In that, you will find all the things and all the details about the 5 elements that you need to know or want to know. So getting back to the Preeti Yoga. What is the meaning of Preeti Yoga? That's very important. Preeti means to have an affection, to be loving, and to be kind, and having that extended behavior towards one another. So obviously, anybody who has that in his or her chart should show that kind of behavior. The person should have the ability to be loving, kind towards one and all. Top it all, the deity for this yoga is Lord Vishnu, and the yogi planet or the planet that's supposed to bring you luck is Mercury. So when we are going to put these 2 things together, what can we talk about the capabilities of the person having Preeti Yoga as such? The person who has Preeti Yoga invariably has great administrative powers. Such a person can also be very lucky in terms of money. These people know how to save their money. These people know how to modulate their money in a manner that it begets more and more money. And these people have a turn of fortune, especially after their marriage or after their involvement in a relationship. They will have a turn of fortunes. These people are very good orators. Let's not forget, Mercury is all about speech. So these people are very good orators. They know exactly what to say where and how much to say. These people have a great sense of business. So their sense of business is something that sustains them. And these people are ultimate charmers. Whoever, be it friend or a foe, they know how to impress the person in front of them so that the person actually lends a ear to that person. So this is how we see, this is the general characteristic of a person who has Preeti Yoga. Now, when the Mercury is placed in different houses, obviously this yoga will reflect in different manners for you. For example, if Mercury is present in Lagna for you and you have Preeti Yoga, well, you are very lucky in that case. Why? Because your planet Mercury is Digbali. And as such, you're very conscious about your own self. You know how to manage yourself. You know how to put forward a persona that is very loving and caring to others. And you also know very well about your finances. Don't forget that Mercury predominantly is a planet which talks about business, finance, and speech. It talks about connectivity. So you know all this and much more. When this Mercury is placed in the 2nd house for you, it's a very good position once again, because 2nd house is the house of learning and wealth, and you're always willing to learn to be a better person. And it is also about the family. So you would be probably working with the family in family matters, going ahead and having a traditional view of life, doing learning the family business well, or following into the footsteps of your family members. As a result, you could be inheriting a lot of talent from them and making good use of it. When we talk about the third house and Mercury plays there as per Preeti Yoga, then you are a conversationalist par excellence. Why? Because that is in the natural zodiac the house of Mercury, and third house is the house of conversation. So you know how to create bondings with people, which later on would be good and would be very uh, nice in the sense that it would bring you business, it would bring you connections and contacts for you. And you have a pleasing manner so that your siblings are also very happy with you. When we talk about this Preeti Yoga being formed in the fourth house, this is the house of learnings and this is the house of stored wealth. So this is a good place for Mercury because you can store your wealth there. You have enough to go in your life and you're very protective about your family. The place that you stay is sacrosanctum for you, and you make uh, decisions which though can be based a little on emotions. However, you have a long-term vision to make that emotions. We should not forget that this Mercury also aspects the 10th house, so that your decisions can also be based on your business and you have a foresight into how your business is going to run, because Preeti Yoga gives you a great business administration sense. When we are talking about Preeti Yoga being formed in the fifth house, the fifth house is a house of luck. It is the house of money in the future. Mercury is quick, so you have the ability to make quick money. It also means that you make friends quickly and you are able to impress people quickly. As a result, people think that whatever agency that you have, that is very beautiful and they would like to be associated with that. Mercury is also about writing. So you have great writing skills also. In fact, you could be ambidextrous. You could be able to write with both the hands and you could have a very vivid imagination or a thought process that can bring you a lot of good. We're talking about the sixth house now. Mercury gets exalted in the sixth house, and it's a case of a true tradesman. Also, when we see Mercury in the sixth house in Preeti Yoga, we know that the person has a mind that runs on business 24/7. So this person knows how to be very how to not penny pinch, but knows how to cut their cost and be very aware of the costs that they are creating or making, and be careful about their finances, which is good on the long run because a penny saved is a penny earned. And these people also have a definite plan, practical plan, learning in mind, because when they do something, when they learn something, they always want that to be utilized into creating, generating wealth for themselves and for others. And they would do well in hospitality industry, or they would also do well in service industry, because service is something they are also very good at. In the seventh house, as I told you, the fortunes will change after marriage and their spouse is likely to bring them a lot of wealth, is likely to bring them a lot of name and fame. And it is also a possibility that they look charming, they look alluring for others for a long period of time. Let's not forget Mercury is a young prince, and the charm of the person continues well ahead in life. Even though they mature, they may be looking younger compared to others of the same age. So when we see about Mercury in the eighth house, Mercury in the eighth house in this Preeti Yoga, yes, there can be problems with business because eighth house is ups and downs, and so there can be ups and downs in business. But if such a person is into academics, if the person is into research, then such a person finds solace there, has the ability to understand things. Even if a person is into business, into sectors like insurance, into sectors like mm, uh, long-term investments, then the person has a great knowledge of it. and has an ability to see how things will unfold over a period of time. So these people particularly have a very long-term vision. Their vision is something different from others, and that is very specific to Preeti Yoga. Now, when we talk about Preeti Yoga in the ninth house is the house which is diametrically opposite the third house, and it needs a person to have a lot of knowledge. Mercury is all willing to absorb the knowledge. He's all ears, and he's a very apt pupil at that. So this is a person who has a lot of knowledge, who's willing to learn always, and is quite observant. This is also a person who goes into the deep of a matter before do investing in anything or talking about anything. Mercury generally, if afflicted, can make person a liar. But if a person has Preeti Yoga and in the ninth house, in that case, the person is always bound to say the truth, though Ardha Satya or half a truth can also be something that a person can feel strong attachment to if there is Mercury, which is afflicted. In the 10th house, this Mercury is great to go because the business sense here expands itself like nothing else. So Preeti Yoga for a person with Mercury in the 10th house shows a time when the person will flourish under a government agency, will have bosses who will promote him, and he will have a sense of humor to attract people such that anything that he says, even if it's in sarcasm, but it's a humorous sarcasm, will be taken as such, and he will have leeways in his workplace, feel protected in his workplace or with other bosses when others would not be able to do so. So that's a lucky position for me. In the 11th house is the house of gains. And it's an airy house. So Mercury, which is a fast moving planet, is very happy here because you make short-term periodic gains quickly, time and time again, and then you move out. And here you find people and you make association of people who are willing to help you and further your cause. In the 12th house, it's best if you live somewhere near the sea, if you live abroad, and then you see how the income comes your way. So this is Preeti Yoga. When a strong Preeti Yoga is operating in a person's chart, the Mercury, if it's well placed, exalted, own house, in the Kendras or the Trikonas, then the person will have a lot of wealth, will be charming, will be alluring, and people will look up to you for all suggestions also, or people will take after you because you are good to go. Example of a classic case of Lady Diana. We see that her Mercury is retrograde in the 7th house, and whoever she got associated with got her a lot of name and fame, starting from Prince Charles. And it's also with the 9th house. So legality of marriage gave her a different place altogether, put her in a different orbit, and then there was no turning back for her from there on. She lived, during her marriage, she lived a life which was at times much more flamboyant, or people noticed her more than they noticed any other celebrity or any other royalty. Yajari Peg, another very handsome, charming, alluring actor who was very good with money management. And he also set up his, in his hometown, he set up a institute, an acting institute, a theater group, which still runs till today. And he'd been nominated for so many, what should I say, Oscars, as well as being nominated or given the Lifetime Achievement Awards by many other people. He had an on-screen presence that he had was simply too charming. So we see that people who have this yoke in their charts are charming, are good orators, know what to say, when to say, and they have a strong sense of business and money. Fortune for them changes after marriage. So do keep that in mind. Do let us know how you found this video. Until we meet
Please
you
hit the
again.
bell icon for fresh updates. Don't forget to like, share, and comment on the videos, and
please subscribe to our channel.